Greetings and salutations. I am Richard and I am the bass player with the Hotland Roots Band, and I thought I would take you through a little journey through history. This would be the first bass I actually went out and gigged with. It's a circa 1970s-ish copy of a Gibson Grabber. I'm not sure why it's called that, and I've not been able to identify whether it's made by Epiphone or Music Man, because nobody I know can identify that symbol. But there you go, never mind. I don't gig this bass, but I still love it because I've had it for so many years and I'll never ever get rid of it. The only drawback with this one is that it's got a really awful tone. It's about as woody as it gets. It's a bit of sort of Rickenbackery. It's nice if you like that sort of sound, but I don't. One of the main characteristics of this is it had a sliding pickup, which means you could move it between the bridge and the neck, but it didn't really make that much of a difference. But there you go. So moving on from that, when I was a strapling, around about 22 years old, this came along. It's an Orion Pro 2 Integra, and I played this bass for probably the thick end of 30 years, through many gigs. It's been through a hell and back, this one, and it's got a standard 80s bass pickup setup with the bass pickup towards the neck and the treble pickup towards the bridge. These days it's the other way around. I don't quite know why, but there you go. It's got a standard 80s sound. Which actually I've loved for very many years, and this bass is dear to me for many reasons. But I took the plunge one day and decided to go 5-string. I used to use a Behringer Ultra Bass amplifier, which had an octaver on it, so I could get the lower notes. But I decided to go 5-string because I could get the low notes without having to use the bass amp. We'll come on to that later. So, coming up to date, this is Ariel, and she has an active EQ, 5 strings, the lower B being the godsend, and yes, the bottom string was worth all the money. She has a 5-piece neck, rosewood fretboard, and she is absolutely beautiful to play. I can't really say that much more about her, apart from the fact that okay, I've got a GR bass 1-800, and it is pretty much the best amp I've ever had, and it's teamed up with a Mark Bass 2x10 with a horn, as you can see, and a 1x15 at the bottom there. It has a particularly wonderful little thing on it called Pure Tone, which you turn that on. Oh, sorry about the lens flare. Turn it off. The Pure Tone allows you to go straight into the amp and straight out of the amp, and whatever you put into it, you get out of it, which is always handy. It's a beautiful amp, and it's tiny, which means it obviously doesn't weigh a ton like my last rig did. Because I live on a first floor flat, and getting up and downstairs would be a nightmare if it weren't in 2 pieces, or at least 3. Anyway, so moving on from that. So this is my Zoom B3N, which I use as a bass pedal when I'm out gigging. A lot of bass players don't use pedals, but some do, and I do. And the reason I love this is because you can see 3 patches at the same time, so you know where you're going, rather than having to scroll through them. I also go wireless in every way possible because I have a terrible habit of falling over cables when I'm on stage, which can be very embarrassing. So anyway, that's me, that's my rig, that's my effects, and this is me saying goodbye. And I hope to see you at one of our gigs sometime soon.